Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
George Collins is called 23 CR 221. There is no answer in the courtroom. I asked the bailiff to call into the hall for George Collins. No response to the name George Collins being called into the call. No response to that name called here in the courtroom. In 23 CR 221, the defendant was required to be here for an announcement. He has failed to appear. His bond is revoked. Warrant is issued for his arrest. His bond is
I'll pull it up, Doug. It's 15,000.
15,000. His bond is revoked. And it is doubled to $30,000 plus the defendant must have a GPS device so we know where he is when he's not here in court when he's supposed to be. And again, the bond is now $30,000 with a GPS. A warrant is issued for his arrest. Lenny Nixon,
Just sign on here.
you ready? Come on up. Yes. We now call 23 CR 1125, the state of Texas versus Lenny Nixon. You are Mr. Nixon.
Yes, sir.
And you are here with your attorney, Mr. Lenny, and the state's attorney. Does the defendant waive a formal reading of this indictment and arraignment here? And can we proceed in summary?
He does.
In summary, the indictment alleges that was handed up by the grand jury on August 9th of 2023, that on or about June 25th, 2023 in Jefferson County, Texas, he committed the first degree felony of aggravated robbery. Do you understand what you are charged with?
Yes, sir.
If convicted, you face a term of life imprisonment
Yes, sir.
or any term of not more than 99 years or less than 5 years in prison. And additionally, you may be assessed a fine up to $10,000 if you understand that.
Yes, sir.
An agreement has been reached. You would be pleading guilty based on deferred or unadjudicated probation. This can be in up to 10 years in length, fine $500. Is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, sir.
If I follow this agreement, you have no right of appeal of your case. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to this indictment charging you with this first degree felony of aggravated robbery, guilty or not guilty?
You.
Are you pleading guilty voluntarily and because you are guilty of what this alleges?
And
Yes, sir. Yeah, did then and there, in the course of committing theft and with intent to obtain or maintain control of property, you intentionally and knowingly threatened or placed a person in fear of imminent bodily injury or death. And you used or exhibited a deadly weapon, namely a firearm.
And Your Honor, we've gone over, there are co-defendants and we're pleading guilty. We are a party. We aided, abetted, solicited, or comforted others. So,
In what way?
well, there another person that was an older gentleman stole the gun from that guy. And Mr. Nixon was actually standing apart from them. And then he walked back around and that guy gave the gun to Mr. Nixon. And that those other guys were older than him, but they were all together. It's all on video surveillance. They were older, and that's why I think Mr. Ham was given the offer. I think they're.
It was co-defendant who was also given this very same offer.
That's correct. But it was the co-defendant that actually stole the gun and pointed the gun. Mr. Nixon did not. They just handed off the gun to him. So I think he would be more as an accessory to the fact. Yeah.
Okay, it says multiple black males were wearing ski masks with guns and took his gun. Was he wearing a ski mask?
He was.
Is that right?
It's all on video. Yes, every bit of it is actually on video.
Okay.
Your Honor, this is,
What did he knowingly and intentionally do wrong?
He took the gun that he knew was just stolen with the gun.
Was he with the group of guys?
Well, they were all standing right there by the. I'm answering for him, but he.
I know, but we're talking about first degree felony, you know.
that's
I understand, Your Honor.
My understanding is it was a party, Your Honor. And that's why the offer notice is Mr. Ham's case. And he's in drug court.
Mhm.
The notes in my review of the file was,
And this was just days after his 17th birthday.
It says, okay, in the complaint, it says investigation and video surveillance reveals a group of males, including Nixon, waited for the complainant to exit the store before stealing his gun out of his pocket and pointing multiple guns back at him. Nixon then received the gun from the male that initially took the gun from the complainant. All that true?
He did not point a gun at anybody, Your Honor. It's hard to describe, but it is actually.
Was he with the group though, waiting for?
He knew the
With the group.
friends. And
Okay.
they were sitting there. The other
Okay.
three persons had masks on and he went over
I
and
guess
spoke.
the question is, why would you do such a thing? Anyway, over a gun? Really? And you were how old now?
I'm 17, sir.
Mhm. When did you turn 17 before this event?
June 8th.
Uh-huh. This occurred on June 25th.
Yes, sir.
Are you kidding? You couldn't wait to become an adult so you can be involved in a crime involving a firearm?
Jeez.
That's
People
terrible.
was around,
That's a
sir.
terrible way to start adulthood, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, he does work. He is participating with IEA and his mentor is here and present. He's got a monitor. I've been in close contact with his family. He can successfully complete this probation. He is a non-violent person.
That's not according to this indictment, he isn't.
I understand, Your Honor, but his involvement is what I said.
I understand, but it still doesn't, you're made a bad choice,
Yes, sir.
which is what seems to happen all too often in this room. How do you plead to this?
Hmm.
Are you pleading guilty voluntarily and because you are indeed guilty?
Yes, sir.
I'll show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 1 here. Did you sign that
Yes, sir.
voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand it? Discuss it with your attorney? So the contents all true and correct.
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 1 is tendered into evidence.
No objection.
Without objection admitted. Among other things, this states that you are mentally competent to enter your guilty plea, which is freely and voluntarily made. You know what you've been charged with. The indictment's been read to you. You've read it. You were guilty of the crime charged in any lesser included offenses. You were giving up your rights through a jury trial and the right to the appearance, confrontation, cross-examination of witnesses. You were totally satisfied with the representation provided by your lawyer. All of this is true. It states, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, State's Exhibit 1 is made a part of the record for all purposes. Pre-sentence report, well,
It is by the.
they're good. Anything else to add?
No, Your Honor, we're just asking the court to follow the.
If not, I'm going to find you were pleading guilty today voluntarily. You were mentally competent to do so. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading guilty.
Yes,
There's sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea from State's Exhibit 1 here to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. A felon
yes,
that would
sir.
follow you the rest of your life,
Yes, sir.
where you're facing life imprisonment as a potential punishment. Even though there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to defer any finding of guilt and place you on deferred or unadjudicated probation for 10 years. You must pay a fine of $500. There will be terms and conditions of probation which are normal and customary for this type of offense.
Yes, sir.
I guess you were arrested in this. How long did you stay in jail?
1 day.
How did that work out for you?
I don't want to go back.
Well, as a condition of probation, I can place you in jail for 6 months, day for day. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm gonna do. This is a crime of violence, and far too often people make bad choices. But right here, aggravated offenses, violent crimes of violence are going to be dealt with. You know better. And people are tired of being victimized by a group of thugs like you were part of. You made a bad choice. Put people in fear of their lives.
Your Honor, we would ask that you suspend the 180 days. I don't think the guys actually stole the gun.
Yeah, let's be soft on aggravated robberies. No. I can appreciate where you're coming from, but no, we're gonna set examples here. People are fed up.
You know, he does have an ankle monitor.
Okay.
That's something that can be removed.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. Are you in school too? No, it's a terrible place. It's a terrible place. I can't imagine.
He is working.
One day, much less 6 months. Do you see anything unfair about this? Nobody wants to go to jail, but you brought that on you with a bad choice and running around with a bunch of other people who make foolish choices, robbing people, stealing guns. Let me tell you, you're old enough to kill somebody by foolish behavior or hurt people. Okay. All right. I just want you to know, we're taking firm stances and we're setting examples. We're tired of it. This is just the kind of stuff that's you think would be in somewhere else, but too often it's happening here. That is all. Thank you. Come here, Dennis. Okay, we can get the other defendant, I guess, out, right?
Judge, this is Mr. Collins. He was number one on the list. He came in late.
Yeah, I am sorry. My lawyer didn't my lawyer didn't show up, so I was on my way on my lawyer.
We called outside, sir. We called outside. You should. We called outside and nobody answered. The bailiffs to the restroom or something.
Yeah, he was sick.
Well, the rules are, I'm sorry, if you're gonna go to the restroom, you tell somebody. But when at 9 o'clock, you were supposed to be here, you weren't, period. Whether you say you were in the restroom or not, I mean, anybody could say that one. Oh, had to be in the restroom, I guess. I mean, how do we police that? Sorry, you're supposed to be outside. And if you have to go to the restroom, you tell the bailiff. Okay, go with that, man. Right there, we're gonna. Yes, you go with him. He good?
No, you're wrong.
No.
She said.
Okay. I need his file, please. You've got THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, marijuana, and benzodiazepines in your system. Come on up, sir. That's him. Yeah. You gonna tell Mr. Cole. What is his bond right now? Mr. Collins of 23 CR 221.
It's $15,000.
$15,000. Because you have failed the urine test, you've got drugs in your system, which are illegal. Condition of bond is don't commit a crime. Possession of illegal drugs is a crime. That's number one on the bond conditions. Your bond is hereby revoked. It is doubled from $15,000 to $30,000. You must have a drug patch as a condition of bond now until otherwise ordered. Don't interrupt me. Please, because she can't take, and I don't mean to be rude, it's just two people speaking. She is required by law to take everything down. When two people speak, she can't do it because they caused her not to do her job. I don't want to be the one in trouble. So those are the bindings and the orders of the court. Now you can speak. And we'll call Mr. Cole and tell him.
It was the lawyer that I like. That I wasn't going to say, but this kind of situation is, I'm being wrong with you or something.
That's not the issue today. We're not trying the case. The issue is a bond issue. You may or may not have been late. That's okay. I'm cutting some slack on that. But the court can test you and any person on bond at any time as a condition of bond. Your drug test failed. You have drugs, illegal drugs in your system. And that's why you're going to have your bond revoked. It's doubled and you must have a drug patch as a condition of bond. That's normal and customary for everyone who fails a drug test like this. What's that? What else?
Was that fair?
Well, you're not aware that using drugs or having drugs in your system illegally is criminal? Everybody knows that. You should. That's that. You're old enough to know that. You know better. And when you're on bond, you have a lot more to lose than you would otherwise. But it's always good practice, whether you're on bond or not. You can test me any day. You're not going to find marijuana in my system. All right. That is all. Fix that. And that's not the way you fix this mess. You're in a mess. You got to fix it to get out of this and move on with your life and do better. But this is not fixing the mess. It's just digging the hole deeper. You got to stop making the mistakes. That is all.